No!
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to INFOcus, People and Places. I'm your host, Germain. Welcome to our viewers, not only here in the Middlebury area on MCTV, but also up to our north in Vergennes, northern part of Addison County, as well as all of Chittenden County on VCAM, and our viewers over in Bristol as well on Northeast Addison Television, Neat TV up there. Welcome to everybody, and welcome to another jam-packed show. On the show today, well, speaking of Bristol, we're going to be heading up to Bristol, talking with the librarian up there, the head librarian, the director of the Lawrence Memorial Library on North Street there in Bristol. We're going to take a tour and talk all about books and all the many services of the Lawrence with Nancy Wilson. Also, we'll head over to the Mahaney Center for the Arts at Middlebury College and talk arts and entertainment on the Hill at Middlebury College with the box office manager, the marketing manager over there, actually, Liza Sekeli-Lloyd. And in just a moment or two, I'm scared she may pick apart my brain, which will not be like a Rubik's Cube. It'll be like playing with mush. We're going to be talking with hypnotherapist Carrie Skiffington, find out what she does, what is a hypnotherapist, and maybe find out what's in my head, or what's not there, or something like that. I don't know. Maybe she'll take care of some bad habits that I have, which are many. We don't have time enough on this program to go into that. Carrie Skiffington, hypnotherapist extraordinaire, when we come back on this week's edition of INFOcus, People and Places.
When you become a pheresis donor, you play a special role in helping to save lives.
There are patients among us who need platelets and other blood products each and every day. Perhaps it's a cancer patient undergoing chemotherapy, or maybe someone receiving an organ transplant.
And since platelets last only 5 days, the need for platelet donors is constant.
Please consider becoming a volunteer pheresis blood donor. Call 1-800-GIVE-LIFE for more information and to find a donor center near you.
Welcome back, everyone. INFOcus, People and Places. By the way, go to our website, infocusvt.com, for information on this show, past shows, upcoming shows, all the information you could possibly want about INFOcus. You can find right there, infocusvt.com. We will also have a link to our first guest's website, so you can find out more about what she does. But right now, don't touch that dial. Don't get out of your chair. She'll glue you to the chair anyway, if you watch carefully enough, listen carefully enough. I don't know. Carrie Skiffington is with us. Hi.
Hi, Jerry.
You are a hypnotherapist. Is that what your job title says on your business card or your
My business
website?
card says clinical hypnotherapist.
Clinical.
Yes.
Okay, what does that mean?
That means I wear pumps on occasion.
What happened today?
I'm hanging out with you.
You're just laid back, lounging around in our...
Hey, I'm hanging out. I do love to come here. It's easy to come,
Yeah.
so I just feel relaxed. So what a clinical hypnotherapist is I'm basically a hypnotist that uses my skills to help people with problems that are, physical, that are medical. Some would say psychosomatic, also some psychological, like phobias and habits. Biting nails, twisting hair,
fear of flying, fear of heights.
Classic heights, all those things. But also, about 85% of my clientele, well, maybe exaggeration, but an awful lot of my clientele is weight management. And I do stellar stuff with that. And but also people eat for lowering their blood sugar, for managing blood sugar, and what's the other one? Blood pressure and blood sugar. Thank
high
you,
blood
Gary.
pressure,
You can speak
yeah.
English. I've been here this country for full courts, you know.
Let's get back to
yeah.
the weight
Yeah.
weight management. What goes on there? I mean, how do you do that? I know that's probably, I guess, your bread and butter, right?
Yes,
I mean, so many
fundamentally.
people want to do that. I mean, that's the big thing these days: weight loss, weight management. How do you do that? And I mean, how do you get them to not want to eat? How to lose weight?
Okay. Can I give you a little bit of word lesson before I go into the house?
Word lesson, yes.
This is one of the first things I tell my clients. The word loss, get rid of it out of your vocabulary.
Okay.
Think about the things you lose. Keys, lovers, your way in the rain, jewelry, things you lose, you want to come back. The very word itself kind of has in our mindset that we want it back. People come to me, I tell them if they want it back, why bother to hang out with me? I'm expensive. But if you really want to shed it, shed it.
Okay.
Shed it, get rid of it, drop kick it, I don't care what you do, but the idea is a permanent getting rid of. And the way that we do that is initially we do the kind of mechanical thing. I have a dandelion metaphor. You can get rid of dandelions in your yard by mowing the lawn. They're gone. But we know the roots are there. We know that there's an emotional connection with weight stuff, weight issues, weight habit, eating habits. So first what I do is I get people to get their metabolism to speed up just a little bit that's safe. I get them to feel motivated to go out and, use that gym membership or the stair climb or whatever they've got. I give them a simple question. Every time you go to reach for something to eat, you ask yourself, are you really hungry? And all this is very positive, you'll notice. I don't say you don't want to eat, because we all need to eat.
Right.
But I ask, are you really hungry? If you are truly full and satisfied for nutritional needs, go take a drink of water, or whatever else they might want to replace that with. I highly specialize in whatever the person's thing is. Then, if you are truly hungry, you look at your cupboard and all to find out what you can eat that'll be truly healthy and keep you satisfied for some period of time. I am not medically inclined in terms of, I don't know what the rules of dietary stuff is. I know it's good for me and my family, and I go with that. But everybody usually comes to me, either they're on a South Beach diet, or they go to Weight Watchers, or their doctor has said these are things to stay away from, to be specially putting in your diet. So I say, go to what you know, pick out the thing that's going to be satisfying and nutritious and help you for the next chunk of time. And so it's not negative, it's very positive. It says, you can make this choice. That's the first session. I put it on a CD. You take it home and listen for 30 days. Okay, dandelions removed from your lawn. Let's get to the roots. And there's a reason. There's emotional reasons why people have bad eating habits. And some people will go and say, oh, when did this first happen? I don't do that. It's called a regression in time. I don't do that. What I do is I figure out, why does some part of your being think that this is a happening gig? There's some part of your being that, trying to do the best and most wonderful thing for you, thinks that the way to that is through eating, chocolate, eating brownies, Coca-Cola, whatever.
Can it be another a nervous habit?
Yes, it can.
Something related to like that, like fingernail biting, or
Absolutely, it can be anything. Usually, primarily, sometimes it's about grief. Sometimes it's about protecting. Women often protect themselves from men's sexual advances. It's quite common, by making themselves ugly and fat. Another reason, like I said, one is grief. And I've had clients say, Carrie, it's a piss poor thing to do, in replacing a relationship. But, it happens. And we do all this seeking out the problem that the person is trying to solve. And then we say, well, okay, the motivating part of you might come up with some ideas how to do that. And you'll laugh, Jerry, but one of my clients just needed to spend some time looking after herself. All she needed to do was take a spin around the neighborhood on her Harley once a day. And Now she's a tweak. I see people in the street, and I say to myself, well, what happened to you? And they laugh at me, and they say, Carrie, I saw a hypnotherapist. Because it can be quite dramatic when fundamentally your thought pattern changes. And it changes from within. You can't do that with a pill. You can't do that with a milkshake. End of diatribe.
And basically, that's the same kind of template for lots of different problems, lots of different issues that you deal with.
Smoking, yes.
Now, you hypnotherapy, hypnosis is better than drugs in a lot of cases. You recommend that over going to the doctor and.
Well, I sure don't say don't go to your
Well,
doctor.
yeah, I mean, there's certain
But-
situations where you definitely need to go to your doctor.
Yeah. What I would say is either end is a good time to look for me. Most people don't come to me until they've tried everything on the planet and they throw up their hands and say, well, she may be a whack job, but maybe she can help me. And I don't mind. I don't take that as a personal thing because I know that hypnotherapy is new. So when everything else is tried and you've tried everything the doctor says, you know, we've done all we can, call me up, ask me. Tell me what the gig is, and I'll say, well, I don't think this is something I can do, and I have said that, because sometimes I can't. And then, but if I can, by golly, you know, with a session with me might solve it, give it a go. The other time to pursue me would be, I got a problem. I don't know if it's really a medical thing. I don't know if I should be going to the psychiatrist or what. When you first sussing out what you might want to be doing, call me up, ask me, I'll tell you. I will definitely tell you if you need to see a proper psychologist or if it's way beyond my capacity. You know, I've got a reputation to maintain. I'm not going to try to do something that's, you know, any
Way out
potentially
there.
harmful.
Yeah.
You know, I have enormous amount of love to give, and I'm just trying to help people in the way that I have best capacity to do. And if I can't, you know, I'll pass you on. I'll suggest, and I'll stay with you. I'll follow you through if you want some hold handing. But beginning and end is kind of when to see me.
Now, people are, I think a lot of people have your profession stereotyped. You're the one with the little
Pendulum?
pendulum
No,
there.
use the same one.
Yeah. And that's what they think. Or they see the entertainment people that do hypnosis and all of that. But it's much more than that. It's more serious than that. Talk about how you do what you do. What are the mechanics? What happens in your office when you go in there? Can you run us through maybe a
Session? Classic schedule? Outline
yeah,
session?
yeah.
Okay. We talk for 10, 20 minutes. Depends on how much on phone I've spoken to the person. And usually by that time I know what I'm going to do. And I write the session ahead of time. And then I speak to them and I put in other things that I get from that time. Then I will put in, about half an hour you'll be in session. And you will be quiet. You've experienced it, and it's just feeling like really, really relaxed. You remember everything that happens. You could get up and walk out the room, but you know, gee, I just don't feel like it. It's kind of the way your head goes. And you lie there or sit in a relaxed situation. Sometimes just people just sitting like this, whatever is comfortable. I really very much feed up on what people feel comfortable doing. And if in most first sessions, I record the session, because it's me just telling you stuff. I put it on a CD, and then we talk about what your experience was at that time. Was anything scary? Was anything fun? Was there anything I said, a word that triggered something? Because sometimes, you know, the word zucchini can really freak people out. And so next time I'll know not to use that word. And I give them instruction on how to use the CD. The next time they come is that starting to go deeper for the roots. And that happens interactively. People actually talk in hypnosis with me. I usually have to get quite close because people talk really quietly. Because it's their inner self coming out. And what's interesting, when I talk to different aspects of people's personalities, they actually often come out in a different voice, different tone of voice. It's just kind of a funky thing. Sometimes when people are feeling kind of vulnerable, it's a little voice. And it's like, I'm the one in charge. I'm the motivating guy. I'm just going to make sure it happens. You know? And it's kind of interesting to see. And that's nothing to worry about. It's a beautiful thing that we have such beautiful, multidimensional personalities. And so usually when those interactive sessions happens, about 45 minutes, you're in trance, we call it. It's a formal word for it's trance. You're not under anything. You remember everything that happens, unless you choose not to. You really get very, very much, it's all your choice. You won't ever do anything, you know, the stage stuff of clucking like a chicken. A stage hypnotist very much selects the people who come, you know, we'll send people back down into the audience if they don't think they're going to be a subject that's going to be conducive to clucking like a chicken or whatever they're having you do. I don't get to choose my clients. If they come, they get my whole me. They get the whole 9 yards. They get whatever I can do for them. And some people are more easily suggested. You're quite easy. You're quite easy, Joe. You're very, very suggestible. You know, you trust me anyway, but we've known each other for long. Fairly easy. When people come to me, they've never been to a hypnotist before, or they've seen it on, you know, TV or the stage, and they've been frightened. So, you know, maybe the first time they don't go so easily into it all.
By the way, never mention the word artichoke, because I'll just
Artichoke.
turn into an animal.
I don't have a pencil to write that note down.
I know you have some areas of specialty. Menopause,
Yes.
allergy elimination, which is great for this time of year.
Yes.
Deal with those same way you have dealt with weight management, and
Both of those are rather different.
is it the same kind of
Allergies
template?
is basically the same kind of template. What's nice with the menopausal things I handle are things like hot flashes. Anybody out there has hot flashes? Why? Come to me, get rid of them, quick and easy. That and regulating blood pressure and blood sugar is basically using your internal, you have an internal regulation system that's doing all the time, just like you're breathing all the time when you're not noticing. Your body regulates your temperature all the time. And what I do in the case of hot flashes, with the classic one I see a lot of, is I say, okay, well, when your body gets the trigger, oh yeah, I feel a hot flash or night sweat coming on, you say, oh, instead of stealing myself for that, which makes it worse, by the way, you say, oh, right. I mean, this happens all internally without you thinking about it. Oh, right. I got this way I can control my temperature and bring it back down to where I want it to be. And you do this inside. Blood pressure the same. Oop, my blood pressure's rising. I know how to, I just can get myself there. By the way, not with hot flashes, but for things that are real medically, like the blood pressure and the blood sugar, you want a doctor's referral, just by the way. I don't diagnose anything. I don't know that you got blood pressure, except your doctor tells me so. Hot flashes, women my age, we know.
Well, if you don't have blood pressure, aren't you in serious trouble?
Well, blood pressure that's off the scale,
Okay,
off the
all right.
charts. With allergies, it's rather more like the weight thing, although that's in broad strokes. That too, I can only do one allergy at a time. Like I can't do dog dander and mold and mildew at the same time. But again, you can train your immune system to say, oh, dog dander. When all those fields are out there kind of protecting. Oh, dog dander, no big whoop. We know how to deal with dog dander. It's not a harmful substance. Oh, okay, no histaminic response. And you can train your body to do that. Truly you can.
And we're running out of time. Quickly talk about revitalizing the libido.
Well, I don't do men. Sorry, Jerry. If you were talking about yourself, you're out of luck. I mostly don't do men with, intimate work. But it's similar to the same thing, is even incontinence. You remember your body has muscle memory. It's like athletes use that, muscle memory, to know how to pee. For incontinence, it's the same thing with libido. Your body knows how to be aroused. And what happens is...
It just has to be reminded?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember how to do that. And so what happens is that as we age, especially women with hormonal changes, those things kind of get physically on the edges of your life. And so we pull back, oh yeah, let's make that center, because I'm sorry about you, but I've got another 50 years to live, and I'm planning to live it with a good time. So, so you can pull that back, but you have to use your mind to overcome some body restrictions sometimes.
Carrie Skiffington, hypnotherapist extraordinaire.
Oh, thank you, Jerry.
And you've got offices in Burlington and now at the Soma Center here in Middlebury.
Yeah, the Soma Wellness Center, Court Street, absolutely. It's wonderful there, a great bunch of people.
And again, a reminder, we will have a link to Carrie's site so you can find out more, you can contact her, find out everything
Just
you could
Google
possibly,
me, whatever.
possibly want to know about what it is you do.
And I'm very, very happy to talk for 20 minutes for free to dispel people's fears, because that, it's a new thing.
And people should have no fears about this.
You're in hypnosis every time you hear the word got milk. You know, every time you drive to Burlington, you're in road hypnosis. It's the same feeling.
On the way, keep it right here. More of InFocus, People and Places coming up. We trek up to Bristol, North Street in Bristol, to the Lawrence Memorial Library, and the director, Nancy Wilson. We'll find out that the Lawrence Memorial Library is not just about books. There's much, much more. Get excited, Carrie.
Good library.
InFocus, People and Places continues right after these words.
Hello, I'm David Pitkin from Chestertown, New York, regular guest on Jerry Germain's InFocus show. Some of you may be familiar with my book, Ghosts of the Northeast, which has some real good Vermont ghost stories in it. I'm looking for Vermont ghost stories for my next book, which will be New England Ghosts, that should be out in the fall of 2009. If you have a good story and you'd like to get in touch with me, go to Jerry's website, infocusvt.com, for the details.
Here we are, North Street in Bristol, Lawrence Memorial Library. We've got the, well, she's the all-knowing one here. She's been here, what, 18 years, you were telling us?
Yeah, it's 18 years this year, yes.
Well, congratulations. You've made it 18 years.
Yes, I still feel new sometimes.
This is Nancy Wilson in charge here. Are you the director?
I am the library director.
Okay. And my first question, we're going to test you here, your knowledge of the library. Who was Lawrence?
Mr. Lawrence is actually, his picture's up on our wall here. He was Addison County Sheriff for a time. He was a local carriage designer and builder in Bristol, and he owned what is now the Crystal Palace, which is a bed and breakfast down the street. And he had a lot of money, so he actually had the library built for the town of Bristol in 1911 and sold it to the town for $1.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty.
What a deal.
It was a deal. It was a deal then. It's a real big deal now. So.
Did he read a lot?
No, his two wives, actually. He had two wives that were that met untimely.
At the same time?
No, not at the same time. Two different wives, and they both met untimely deaths. One was killed in a train accident, I believe, and another died from sickness. But he did dedicate the library to his two wives, who were both members of the Bristol Library Association, which ran out of a storefront on Main Street at the time.
So his connection is money.
Yes, yes, he had the deep pockets, and his wives had the love of books.
Okay, there we go. Little background. All right, let's bring it up to the present. Okay. Lawrence Memorial Library. Actually, let's slip back into the past a little bit here. You've been here 18 years. What were things like 18 years ago, and how have they changed? I'm sure things have changed a lot.
Everyone probably knows exactly what I'm going to say. Computers. The whole thing is different. When I came, there was one old computer here that nobody knew how to use or was using, and we got it up and running, and since then we're fully automated. Our library collection's on the computer. We have Wi-Fi for people who come through with their laptops. We have 3 public access computers right now that people can use. This summer we're planning on getting laptops we're going to let out to people with a proper ID. We'll let you take a laptop and go anywhere within the building or out in the lawn with it. And so we're excited about all the technology changes.
Have you had to change to keep up pace with all these changes? Have you had to go to classes or anything? Have you had to expand your knowledge?
I have, yep, I have. I've gone to school almost continually since I've been here, it seems like. But the state runs workshops and we go for training and things like that. So it's been an ongoing process for me, yep.
All right, well, Nancy has promised to take us on a little tour of the library. Let's start right here. This is something that's near and dear to your heart. Let me get over here so people can...
This is our new collection. It's called the One World Library, and it's an amazing thing that happened within the last few months. About 6 months ago, a group of community members came to me, and they are part of the Asian American Cultural Alliance, which is a small group in town who do a lot of things with multicultural... a lot of them have connections to Asian culture through adopting children, or they themselves have come from different places in Asia. So they had formed this coalition to sort of keep their kids in the culture, shall we say. Their kids are growing up, and they were looking for a new project, something they wanted to do that was a little bit different. And they came up with this fabulous idea, came to me about 6 months ago with this idea out of the blue, and said, we'd really like to create this library of world cultures, all different materials from all over the world, and we will fund it, and we will find people to donate money so we can have this collection, and would you host it? And I said, gee, sure. So this is our new One World Library. We had our dedication dedication yesterday. We had a wonderful World Tea here at the library, and we had more than 100 people here for the tea, and we dedicated the new library. It's fabulous stuff. It's movies from all over the world, books. We'll be getting more and more stuff as time goes on.
One stands out to me, I just noticed, squeamish about sushi.
Yeah. And the really wonderful thing about this collection is every one of these books in the collection has a personal recommendation in it. And what that is someone has actually personally recommended the book to be added to the library. And this was recommended by Ellen Mentor, and she talks about why she recommended this book, so it's really pretty amazing. It's a nice way to create community while still looking at world issues and talking about the world. So
I am squeamish about sushi.
you shouldn't be. Sushi's great. Sushi's healthy. But yeah, so this is our new One World Library. We're very excited about it.
Great. I mean, the thing I think is so cool about this library here in Bristol is that the town is just in love with it. I mean, it's their little baby. I mean, it's their place to go. And I mean, it's more than books here. You have you have meetings of town organizations here as well. A lot of things go on.
Yep, we're pretty integral to the town. A lot of people really enjoy coming here and with their kids or for meetings. As you said, we have a small meeting room downstairs that we'd use that for, and we're really well supported financially and in other ways, always. So it's really wonderful.
All right, you've got a downstairs too.
We do, and it's all children's books downstairs.
Well, that's okay. We can still go down there.
Yeah, we can.
I'm a child at heart.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, let's go. Lead the way.
Okay, go downstairs. Here's our lovely clock. We should definitely get a look at the clock. Very historic.
So Nancy, I understand you have a children's librarian here at the Lawrence?
Yes, we do have a children's librarian. It's the wonderful and amazing Priscilla McQuaid, who does all of our children's programs and buys all of our children's materials and knows every kid in town.
Priscilla, how many kids are in town?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. 1,000.
Well, supposedly you know all their names.
First names only.
Okay. How long have you been the children's librarian here?
10 years.
And a good job?
Yeah, it's a very fun job. Get to do fun stuff with the kids and
Most challenging thing about being a children's librarian? Remembering the names?
that's a hard one. But also making sure we get the kids to come to the library. Sometimes they forget. They have lots of other things to do.
Oh, I know you're competing with television, the internet, and so many things, but you have a lot of that to offer here too, don't you?
We do. That's part of it. Doing programs. Get the kids to come to the library and have fun.
All right. Priscilla, keep up the good work. Seems like a very nice lady.
Yes, she's a well-loved lady in our community.
So how do you, I mean, we're down here in the children's library section of the Lawrence Memorial Library. You have to keep up with the times. You've got the internet down here. How do you keep up with what's popular with the kids? Do you talk to the kids?
Yeah, we talk to the kids. We find out what the kids are interested in. Priscilla goes to a lot of meetings with other children's librarians, and we steal ideas liberally from other librarians and libraries. And we learn about stuff from reading magazines, library magazines, and things like that. But yeah, we try to keep on top of things many different ways.
We'll have our cameraman Vinny kind of pan around here and see all the books that you have in here. You've got quite a collection in here. What is popular these days with the youngsters?
Priscilla, what is popular with the youngsters? I think a lot of movies. We have a youngster right here we could ask.
Well,
Come on up.
And I don't have a TV.
She doesn't have a TV, so she needs to come here for all that kind of stuff.
I like books. I like Hardy Boys. I like Nancy Drew. I like the.
You like mysteries? You like the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew?
I like the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew, and I like the Einstein Anderson books, but I finished all of those last year.
How many books do you read in a year?
Don't know. My dad reads them to me.
That's cheating. How old are you?
8.
Well, you can read for yourself, can't you?
I can, but I don't like to.
Oh, no, we don't want to hear that.
That's funny.
Books on tape.
Oh, there you go. Books on tape are good. Those are especially good in the car.
Yep.
when
I
you
hate
take
to
a
say
trip.
this, but you're lazy. Books on tape, Dad reads to her. Oh. One of these days, you'll have to read the stories for yourself.
Yep, I can read some of them.
Yeah, that would get better. I bet you'll be a big reader when you get
I
bigger.
can read, I just don't like to.
Well, thank you. Well, some interesting kids here. This is great. So you mentioned you kind of steal ideas. You get together with other libraries. You get together with like the Ilsley, the Bixby.
Yep. We have Addison County librarians meetings periodically every quarter or so, and we talk about things we're doing in our libraries and ideas we've stumbled across in some of our professional reading. It's pretty fun, yeah.
And those must be some interesting meetings.
Oh, yeah, it's a wild time. 10 or 12 librarians in a room, woo!
Whoa. I don't even want to think about it.
You come. They're open.
I probably would be afraid.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
So, what is new these days as far as libraries? I mean, where is all the technology going as far as people and books?
Well, books are, as you may know, the current studies show that people are reading less. They have less time to read, and there's more demands on their time. And
Of
we're
course, you have books on tape, as the young lady mentioned.
right. We're responding to that with books on tape and DVDs and movies and those kinds of things. Some libraries are going to video games. I noticed that the Burlington Library is now doing video games. A lot of libraries are doing DDR, Dance Dance Revolution, and Guitar Hero Wii games. And we're actually thinking of writing a grant to get a flat screen TV and a Wii game for our meeting room so that we can attract the younger young adult kind of kids, the 5th and 6th graders to come in. So,
Guitar Hero in the library? Hey, I thought you were supposed to be quiet in the library.
well, we have a little room behind us, which is be really nice. We can shut the door and just pretend they're not there.
Libraries certainly have changed since I was a youngster.
Yeah, this library is pretty exciting. It's not always very quiet,
No.
but that's all right.
People don't get in trouble if they're making a lot of noise in here?
No, we try not to be too mean.
Okay, all right. All right, so this is the children's library section. Where else are we going to go? Are we going to go back up?
We should go back up, and I should show you some other stuff. I'm not sure. We have a lot of stuff up there.
All right, so let's take a walk and you think about it.
Okay, I will.
I'm sure there's much more. I saw much more.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
All right, so Nancy Wilson, lead the way as our tour of the Lawrence Memorial Library continues. Nancy, this is the nerve center of the Lawrence Memorial Library.
This is the heart and soul.
This is where you spend all day?
Yeah, unless I'm in my office, but a lot of the day is here.
Nancy, you have a very informative brochure talking about the Lawrence Memorial Library. Just a few things here I wanted you to comment on. You have music here as well. You have many movies, many of the top ones that the American Film Institute, they had a top 100 movies of the century list. You have a lot of those here on video. Large print books, audio books, as we mentioned. You got DVDs of town meetings, school board meetings, select board meetings, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And something else that I don't think I've ever really talked about. I don't know if this is a standard policy at local libraries, but you have notary services free of charge.
We do. We do have notary services free of charge. We decided to do that a couple of years ago. We actually did a staff meeting where we sat around and brainstormed some great ideas for new services that we could give people, and that came up as one of the new services, notary services. Both myself and our assistant children's librarian downstairs are notaries, and we offer it free, and anyone can stop by and take advantage of that.
That's great. Much more than books here.
Yes, much more than books. Another thing that came out of that meeting a couple years ago when we were talking about new services was our museum pass program, and we give free passes to some area museums. So that's another thing people can call us and find out about.
Well, the basics. I mean, to be a member, to be able to take out books here, is that free for Bristol residents, and then a slight charge for people outside of Bristol?
There's a charge for people who live outside of Bristol, and it's based on what people in Bristol right now are paying in tax support. So it's equitable. It's the same as what people in town are paying.
And if somebody wanted to hold a meeting here of their group, they can certainly do so. They need to call ahead.
Yes, we have a meeting room we book just call ahead and reserve it. Yep.
And I would imagine that you're part of the library network around the state. If somebody comes in here, they can't find a movie, a CD, a DVD, what have you, that you could probably get it from another library?
Yes, we can. Yep, we try to do that, and we do a lot of interlibrary loan, and I buy a lot of things people ask for. Actually, if someone asks for almost anything and I think it's of general interest, I'll buy it.
Have you ever had anything, that somebody asked for that you couldn't find anywhere?
Oh yeah, today actually I found it was something I couldn't find. It was someone who was starting a new business. It was a pretty technical book on starting a new business, and I couldn't find the exact one they wanted. But when that happens, we hope we can find something else, or they can go farther afield, and we don't do out-of-state interlibrary loans, so there are other options for that. So,
now, are there things that Nancy Wilson, director of the Lawrence Memorial Library here in Bristol, Vermont, would like to see implemented in the future? Are there some things that you would like to see happen here in the future?
I'm looking forward to the laptops, because I think because we're so small, that'll allow a lot more people to access the internet, and the space won't be such a constraint, because having a big bulky PC unit is really hard for us to handle any more of those. So that I'm really excited about. All the technology excites me. Even after 18 years, I still get excited about some of the changes, and writing the grant for the large screen TV downstairs is pretty exciting, because we do after-school movies for the kids, which are very popular, and we do those now with a projector, but if we get a large screen TV, it'll be that much more efficient and easy to do that. It's just pretty exciting.
All right, the exciting world of libraries.
It is.
Here in Bristol with Nancy Wilson. Nancy, you are on the World Wide Web?
Yes, we are, www.lawrencelibrary.net, and our catalog is there. You can look up books.
And you don't have to remember that, because, as we always remind you, you could go to INFOcusVT.com, our website, and we'll have a link right over to Nancy Wilson's site here at the Lawrence Memorial Library, and a phone number, and just a quick rundown of your hours as we close things out.
Okay. It's 453-2366, and our hours are Monday from 10 until 5, Tuesday and Thursday 10 to 8, Wednesday and Friday 1 to 5, and Saturday 9 to 1. Again, you can find those on our website.
By going to our website, which is INFOcusVT.com. We love to slip that in there as many times as possible, especially since, it's newly shortened, so not everyone might know that. INFOcusVT.com. Nancy Wilson, director of the Lawrence Memorial Library here in Bristol, thank you so much. Keep up the great work. Always a pleasure talking with you. We've got more on the way. It's always a pleasure to talk with the marketing manager of the Center for the Arts at Middlebury College, the Mahaney Center for the Arts. We will be heading to Middlebury College in just a bit, talking with our pal, Liza Sekeli. Arts and entertainment news up on the hill at Middlebury College right after these. Hi everyone, I'm Jerry Germain, host of InFocus People and Places. Here is what's coming up on the next show. Alex Lero. She is an all-around talented young lady. She is a freshman at Middlebury College. She has been Vermont's junior miss, and she's got her sights set on being Miss Vermont. Find out what happens. We're going to find out all about Alexandra Lero from Vergennes, Vermont on the next show. Also, author David J. Pitkin. He has written Ghosts of the Northeast. He's working on a book about ghosts of New England, and he is looking for your assistance. If you are out there in our viewing audience, you have had some encounters with something perhaps from the other side, something a little weird, something that you think is a ghost, he may want to hear from you. So we'll find out all about that with author David J. Pitkin from Chestertown, New York, trekking over from the Adirondacks to talk with us about his latest project. Ben Vessa returns. Ben of all trades, our InFocus handyman, is going to be here, and if you have put a hole in your wall, if you have some blemishes on your ceilings, maybe even your floors, somewhere in your house, and you want those holes patched, we're going to show you how to do it. Our handyman, Ben Vessa, will be joining us, and he'll be patching a hole in the wall. So all that and much, much more, everything from ghosts to beauty to holes in the wall, coming up on the next edition of InFocus, People and Places. Make sure you go to InFocusVT.com for the show schedule in your area. Welcome back, everyone. And again, a big welcome to our viewers in Vergennes and Chittenden County, new viewers for us on VCAM, and the folks up in Bristol on NEAT, and of course our old pals right here in Addison County and Middlebury with MCTV. Now, folks here at MCTV that have been viewing us on Channel 15 over the past year or so, they're quite accustomed to seeing this lovely lady here next to me, the marketing manager from the box office at the Center for the Arts at Middlebury College. We do up State of the Arts. We talk about arts and entertainment events open to the public, not just the student body or people that work at the college, but the public. And to viewers to our north, now in Vergennes and Chittenden County, we want to kind of acquaint them. I'm going to give you the official introduction. Liza Sekeli, welcome back.
Thank you very much. But you're going to upset my husband if you don't get the name right.
Liza Sekeli Lloyd. Sorry to her hubby. There we go. Apologies. I'm still getting used to that.
I know. Well, I am too. I'm only a half year newlywed. We're going to be married half a year in about another week or so.
See, it's flying by.
It is, absolutely.
All right, and time is flying too. You're coming to the close of another academic, artsy entertainment year here at Middlebury College.
It's been quite a year too.
What has taken place?
Well, we usually have a really full schedule of arts events that go on here at the Center for the Arts, but it's been a year of particular note because we celebrated two big milestones this year. The first, and we knew about this one a long time ago, was that the first was that we're now 15 years old here at the Center for the Arts. We look pretty good for just teenagers, right? The Center for the Arts was constructed in 1992, and it opened that fall. And this being 2008, this is actually our 15th anniversary season, the 2007 to 2008 season. And we celebrated in March with a grand gala and a full 4-day celebration with everything from exhibitions to theater, music, film screenings, a big party, everything else. And we ended up with a kind of bonus with our anniversary celebration because also this year, a very generous alumnus came forward and was acknowledged to, with a donation. We were able to rechristen the Center for the Arts with the new name. So we are now officially the Kevin P. Mahaney Center for the Arts here at Middlebury College. And we rededicated the building the same weekend that we did the big anniversary celebration. So it was quite a gala and exhausting for all of us, exhilarating. And it was really funny at the end of it all. People said not just how great it was and how much they enjoyed it and how lively the place was, but also they said, well, when do we do this again? And of course, my answer was, I don't know, 15 years from now, but who knows? We might pull some stops out for the 20th anniversary of the building in a few more years.
I would imagine that you've been, burning the midnight oil, getting ready for that kind of event.
We did. Myself and a lot of staff members, academic people from the faculty and the staff and the students in 6 different academic arts departments. That was the theater, music, dance, film and media culture, the studio art program, and the history of art and architecture. They all contributed something to the 4 days of celebration. As well as the Performing Arts Series and the Middlebury College Museum of Art. Everyone got involved, and there really was quite a sweep of events from Thursday to Sunday that weekend.
Well, with so many new viewers, why don't you give us a quick sweeping overview of what the Center for the Arts and the Museum of Art is all about?
Sure. The Mahaney Center for the Arts is a visual and performing arts center that serves the Champlain Valley and the surrounding communities at Middlebury College, centered at Middlebury College, but reaching out, of course, into the surrounding communities. We have in our facility actually 3 different performance venues, each one very specific to the discipline that is presented there. We have a beautiful concert hall that has impeccable acoustics. It was actually tuned by a Lincoln Center acoustician when the facility opened in 1992. The concert hall seats about 375 people, but it feels very, very intimate. You feel much closer to the artist than you would imagine with only 400 other people, almost 400 other people in the audience. You can't even get more than, I think, 11 rows away from the performers in that space. And we have some great performers there. We also have the Sealer Studio Theater, which is a modified black box kind of space that's used for theatrical productions. It seats anywhere from 50 to 150 to 200 people, depending on how it's configured. And it's an interesting space in that it's not, even though it's a box, we call it a modified black box because it's not a four-sided rectangle. It's got a lot of weird angles and entrances that come in from all sides, and it allows the theater folks to use that space in some really creative, really unusual ways. I've seen it set up in every possible configuration, from traditional proscenium style, where you have all the audience sitting in one spot and the stage up like in a proscenium arch. I've seen it set up three-quarter or thrust style, full round, where you have audience all the way surrounding the stage. Tennis court style, where you have the stage down the center with audience on both sides looking at each other across the stage, and sometimes with the audience upstairs and the performance downstairs, the performers in the balcony and the audience downstairs. I've seen actors rappel from the ceiling, actors coming up from the trapdoors underneath. It's really quite an incredible space. And that's the second in the facility. The third space in our facility is our dance theater. It's a combination performance space and classroom space. It's in use all hours of the day and night. It's a really big, beautiful space with a lot of vertical volume, skylights, natural light, a beautiful sprung maple floor that actually has the right amount of give for dancers' bodies. It helps absorb some of the impact of landings, and it allows them to dance without being injured, which is really an amazing thing. Back in the day, when performing arts centers were not as technologically advanced as they are now, a lot of times dance spaces were set up where the hardwood floor was down, but it was set down over a surface that was not giving at all. So it was set down over concrete or something like that. And you have a lot of dancers who their knees and their ankles will tell the tale of those concrete floors now. We're going to generate a generation of students who don't have those problems because we have the right kind of floor. It's a beautiful space, and it's a space that definitely inspires the kind of creativity that our dance program aspires to.
Now, there's many resources, Liza, that people can use to get information. And I think, if I am remembering correctly, you have a video tour on your website. So people could probably take a quick gander at some of these sites that you've just talked about?
Yes, that's true. If you go to www.middlebury.edu and then click on the word arts, you'll find our website with a calendar of coming events, that video tour you mentioned, lots of information about our performing arts series, about our Museum of Art, which is a wonderful small museum that's on par with any small museum throughout the country. We have some remarkable national and internationally renowned exhibitions that are on view there. Museum admission is always free, which is a really nice offer to our community. Right now we have a wonderful exhibition of 19th century American landscape photography from the George Eastman House collection. It's called Eloquent Vistas, beautiful sepia tone photographs from the mid-1800s that everyone should check out. And again, since admission is free, you can just come and check it out. Also, there's a series called Art Now, which has a wonderful contemporary art flair. And there's going to be an exhibition of Chinese kites, hand-painted Chinese kites there this summer, which I think viewers of all ages would enjoy.
You've got some out there right now as we're filming. Very interesting stuff there. And with Liza Sakeli-Lloyd in charge of the press end of things here, I mean, you've got lots of different resources. You've got a calendar. Maybe you can hold that up so people can see what it kind of looks like there. Well prepared. You've got a sort of newsletter type format, bunch of information there, and of course the online resources as well.
That's right. So these two pieces are published, the arts calendar once a year. The newsletter is the follow-up piece that comes 3 times during the year. But actually the best place to find out what's going on is if you happen to be electronically inclined to check our website, www.middlebury.edu/arts. And that's updated almost every day. The calendar is far more inclusive than even what we could include on either of these publications because things come up literally almost every day. We have an electronic service that the viewers might be interested in. It's called Arts Mail. Once every 2 weeks, I send out an email that has what events are coming down the pike for the next couple of weeks. And it's informal, it's short and sweet, and It's free. So sign up and I'll be happy to send it to you, and I can keep you posted on everything that's going on in the arts at Middlebury College.
And of course, my producer will slap me if I don't mention you can go to INFOcus VT, our new our web address, a little shorter than before, infocusvt.com, and we'll have a link over to the Center for the Arts website.
Terrific. Thank you for doing that.
We should mention where we are at. We are in a place that, well, for regular viewers of State of the Arts in our interviews with you, Liza, we're at Rehearsals Cafe. And my mouth usually waters here because this is the home of big cookies.
That's right. This is a great spot that we have here. We're very lucky. We have our own breakfast and lunch cafe right here in the Mahaney Center for the Arts. It's called Rehearsals Cafe. It's open Monday through Friday from 9 to 2, and they serve a continental breakfast and lunches 5 days a week. We have an incredible staff here. They do an excellent job keeping us caffeinated, fed, energized. They make ridiculously good desserts, which are my personal downfall. But they do creative sandwiches, homemade soups, all kinds of weekly specials. And it is my favorite lunch spot for sure.
You must go through gallons of coffee
I do go through quite a bit, actually.
with your schedule and your workload and everything.
Unfortunately, I am a little bit of a caffeineaholic, and they know when they see me coming across the lobby, they know to have the coffee ready.
Alarms go off, probably. Let's talk about summertime at Middlebury College. Middlebury College, of course, known for the language schools.
That's right. We have a series of events that we promote as the Arts at Middlebury College, but this is a 12-month college. A lot of places shut down for the summer and they take a nice break. Well, not so at Middlebury. In fact, I think the summer might be busier than the regular academic year in that they're trying to squeeze a whole year's worth of material into a 6 or a 9 or 12-week session. For those of you who are not familiar with Middlebury's language schools, we have 9 language schools that are taught here at Middlebury College. I think over 1,300 students attend every summer. It's an immersion program where students that are enrolled in the language school take a pledge when they arrive that they're going to do nothing that isn't in their language of study. So they're not going to read or speak English. They're not going to watch English television programs or read newspapers. If they're in the Chinese school, they're going to speak Chinese and listen to Chinese and read in Chinese. And it's,
Oh no, that means they can't watch this program.
well, not this summer, but they'll be able to once the pledge is over.
Maybe we'll have to start doing it in a foreign language. Just an idea.
Maybe.
Maybe. And I think they're actually adding languages this year. I think they're adding Hebrew, aren't they?
Yeah, the School of Hebrew, I think, is opening. Gosh, you have me caught out. I don't know
I
exactly.
believe it's this summer.
what it is. But Portuguese was the most recent one before that, and I think the School of Hebrew is next.
But what you're saying is busy year-round.
It is, and each summer there are lots of cultural performances that take place here at the Center for the Arts in regards to the language school. So we might have a Spanish guitar concert or a Chinese cultural performance or ballet with the French school. It's really interesting, and it's they frequently come up really quickly. The events are primarily attended by students in those language schools, but as long as an audience member from the general public would like to attend and it's a free and open performance, they certainly can, as long as they don't start chatting it up in English with the language school students while they're here. So it's a nice resource for our community.
So many things are open to the general public.
That's true. Our museum is one, and we have that exhibition of Chinese kites all summer. So maybe the Chinese school folks will stop by and check those out.
Perhaps. Now, let's talk about, there is the Mahaney Center for the Arts, there's the Museum of Art, but the arts and entertainment world spread across campus. There are other venues as well that from time to time you speak of.
That's true. I would be lying if I said that the Mahaney Center for the Arts was the only place that the arts happened on Middlebury's campus. This is a hub of arts activity, but it's certainly not exclusive in terms of it being a host to arts activities. There are actually quite a few other spaces that are used for arts, concerts, plays, rehearsals, screenings, all kinds of things from here to eternity. And a few of those spaces include, Mead Chapel, which is the college's main large chapel on the hill. It seats 700 or 800 people. And we have some high-profile concerts there each year because we can double the capacity of the number of people we can hold here in our concert hall. Wright Theater is another good example. That's a traditional proscenium-style theater house that seats about 330 people. And it's a traditional proscenium-style house where all the audience is seating in rows looking up at the proscenium. There will be a production, for example, of Tom Stoppard's Jumpers there this May, May 1st through 3rd. Let's see, Johnson Building is another venue we talk about quite a bit. The Johnson Memorial Building is a very interesting modern architecture style. It's concrete and very square, and it's got this great courtyard in the center with natural light that flows all the way through to the bottom floor in a kind of open space. It's like a square donut. I'm sure that an architecture professor could describe that more articulately, but you get the idea. And the performance spaces there are used for everything, or the exhibition spaces are used there for everything from different studio art exhibitions, opening receptions for studio art. That space actually, that building actually houses our History of Art and Architecture and our studio art program. Let's see, Dana Auditorium is where we screen films every Saturday at 3 o'clock and 8 o'clock. The Hepburn Zoo is a little converted attic space that students use for very workshop-y, independent theater productions. There's all kinds of spaces. Even McCullough, across from the Grill, our main student center, McCullough Student Center has a wonderful performance space in it that seats over 300 people. And we have everything from Friday night dance parties to cultural performances in that space. So that space is hopping too.
Well, marketing manager of the Mahaney Center for the Arts, Liza Sekeli-Lloyd, final question for you, for our new viewers and maybe some people just becoming aware of what's going on over here at the Center for the Arts at Middlebury College. Where are you located?
Oh, that's a good one. It's a good question. We're located in Middlebury, about 4/10 of a mile south of downtown Middlebury on Route 30. So if you were in downtown Middlebury, just take Main Street, which is Route 30, about a little less than half a mile, and you'll see a sign that says, "Turn left for parking, Center for the Arts," and that's us. If you see the Center for the Arts, you've actually gone too far and missed our parking lot, but you can spin it around and come back. We have a wonderful sculpture out front right now by Patrick Doherty. It's a beautiful kind of twirling twig sculpture, so you can check that out if you come by.
And if you see a golf course, people golfing, you hear somebody yelling "4", definitely hit those brakes and turn around. All right. Well, Liza Sekeli-Lloyd, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for this introduction to not only you, but to the Mahaney Center for the Arts for new viewers out there to the program.
It's my pleasure. You know, maybe I should mention, if people do want more information, they should just give us a call at 802-443-MIDD, or you can look us up online at www.middlebury.edu/arts.
If that's too much, just go to infocusvt.com, and we have a link over there. Thank you so much, Liza Sekeli-Lloyd. And also a thanks to our other guests on the program today, the director of the Lawrence Memorial Library in Bristol, Nancy Wilson, for giving us a tour of that wonderful house of books up there in Bristol. It actually is much more than books, as you found out today. And also to Hypnotherapist from Bristol, Vermont. That is also Carrie Skiffington, who, of course, came on the program today with some really remarkable stuff, introducing us to the world of hypnotherapy. Hopefully I will be a better person for all of that. All right, and I'm Jerry Germain, of course, host of the program. Thank you so much to you out there for tuning in today. Again, go to our website, infocusvt.com, for more information on this show, past shows, upcoming shows, and much, much more. Everything you could possibly want to know about the world of InFocus, people and places. Again, thank you for tuning in. Until next time, take care.